the Tailor.
Victoria Baylor, Dressmaker. Hello, everybody.
We back.
We're back. After missing last week, you found yourself at the Tailor and the Dressmaker show. Thank you for all the well wishes. I was under some crazy deadlines with costumes. Mr. Jim had lost his voice for a little bit.
I sure did. I couldn't talk to you guys. And I'd have had to been.
What's it? Miming. Sign language. So we're back. We're whole. Ask me how I feel today.
How you feel today?
I feel wonderful.
I feel wonderful.
I know. I finished those Charlotte Ballet costumes. I'm telling you, I have been subsiding off of 3-4 hours of sleep. I didn't even think it was possible, but thank you, God. They're done.
All the time.
They're good. But today we're going to talk about, kind of continuing in the vein about fitting, and we specifically want to talk about some insights on our tag team project that we had the opportunity to do together. Mr. Jim and I were able to co-create for a wedding that took place last Saturday, right?
That's it.
That's right. So
it was delayed because of the hurricane.
That's right.
So it went off last Saturday.
That's right. It was originally intended to take place in October, but got pushed back a month because of Matthew. And actually, Matthew hit the same weekend of the wedding. Can you imagine that?
That's Saturday.
Oh my gosh. So the bride was awesome. She actually went ahead of time and got married at the courthouse, but actually had the ceremony this past weekend. So, Ms. Jim, real quick, we took on 2 different roles. He did the tailoring for the men, and I did the women's wear. Tell us about your pieces. And you've been posting pictures about those, right?
I posted a picture of the wedding suit and the wedding shirt.
That's right, and it was after the wedding, that's right.
It was after the wedding. I had to make sure, you understand, that it was done what it was done.
We don't post ahead of time so we don't spill the beans.
And if you do something for a client, you should never post ahead of time unless you get their permission.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Which is why we really didn't talk much about it. We were kind of mum on the whole project.
But we can say this. Now, the bride and groom posted some pictures on their Facebook.
Yes.
Of which we'll get some and we'll release them to you guys so you guys can see them there.
Absolutely.
But it was what they call a fairy tale wedding from what I heard.
It was, and they looked so spectacular, and it was such an honor to be a part. And your looks were so chiseled and tailored. I love their suit. They went with a traditionally kind of Indian style
wedding
look. So tell us about the men's wear.
What he had on was the white, real tapered pants like you see a lot of East Indian people wear. And I made him a long Nehru type jacket, dark navy blue. It had satin pockets. It had a satin lapel, and I swung a little red lining inside of the navy blue.
He was showing off.
And then I made him what they call what you see them wearing. They wear the long shirts that come out below the coat. So I had made him one, and then it had a nice little print, and his children were in it, and I made little suits for each one of them. I could post one of those of them. They were in here fooling around and joking with each other, and so I took a little picture. I captured a little candid picture of that, and I think we'll post that so they can see that there.
That would be nice, and they look really great. And so what did you do traditional tailoring for all the pieces, or did you do some modifications?
What I did was, for his outfit,
and we will show pictures later, so we'll just describe.
I did do traditional tailoring because this is an outfit that he can wear to any formal, because now you're seeing that look at a lot of formals. See, so he got a real formal, fitted, tailored jacket, pants, and shirt. For the children, I made what we call a jacket shirt, meaning it looked just like a jacket, but it wasn't lined, so it could be worn, and they too could wear them. Matter of fact, 2 of his sons are teenagers. They could wear them to the prom.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and then they're custom made too. So yeah, they were really, really, really good. Words don't describe, so we will post pictures when we get the professional shots. I had the privilege of making 3 bridesmaids dress and the bride's outfit. Now it's not my first bridal wear, but it's my first bridal wear of this type. Instead of doing a traditional gown, she went with a 2-piece kind of Indian sari sort of look, minus like the stole. So it was kind of the crop top, fitted boat neck top, and then the fitted skirt. But the unique thing about it was, and I actually brought it this time because I could not showcase it before, since we do not, as Mr. Jim said, I never show any of my clients' pieces fabric, anything. Now I did post like the crystals on Instagram, but you couldn't see the design. Now I can show you the design. This fabrication, or the top layer of her outfit, was made strictly of this tulle that was beaded. So it's really pretty. It has rhinestones in it and some kind of bugle beads that are clear. Very, very heavy, huh?
This is what you were talking about, the weight.
Yeah.
And how you need something behind it to stabilize the weight.
Absolutely. It was, so it does, there's a border print to it, so it goes from minimal stones to really concentrated stones.
Yeah.
It was your typical...
That's heavy.
Yeah. So with that, as Mr. Jim said, and as I described in a previous video, I end up having to stabilize this completely because her outfit was made out of this on top of, I don't know if this is the right satin. No, I think it was a duller satin, but it was on top of kind of a muted satin. So it was 2 layers to it. And the thing was, like, when I made the skirt, because it was going to be free floating, so the top layer was free floating on top of the satin skirt. So it was almost like I made 2 skirts. Because of the heaviness of the stones, I had to stabilize it to make sure the top layer didn't outstretch the bottom layer. So trust me, there was a lot of engineering involved in making her skirt. And there was just some times where her and I kind of giggled, where she was like, make it tighter. I was like, oh my God. Because we really went in and made this thing like a bodycon kind of fitted deal. And what was neat about her blouse was, her top was, we made used the same stone fabric, but we used this dense area for her sleeves. So it went from minimal stones to very dense for her, and she had 3/4 inch sleeves. So her top felt like, I was joking with her, it felt like chainmail. Like picking it up was heavy. If she backhand someone in that top, there would be some problems. Anyway, beautiful fabric. First time really working with something crusted like this. This fabric was, I believe, either $99 to $199 a yard. The most expensive fabric I've ever worked with to date. So I'm thankful to God that everything turned out well.
You have to be very careful.
You do.
Once again, for you guys out there, when you get into these type of projects, you have to find out their budgeting before you just say, oh, we can do this and we can, because you don't know what the fabric costs.
Exactly. And fortunately for her, she has a sewing background. She's sewn before, so we were able to talk on a level that most my clients and I aren't able to do, and we were able to communicate and she could understand. The neat thing about her skirt was the bottom skirt and the satin was cut like a typical skirt. There's a front and then your back pieces and then a zipper. So, there's the back seam, center back seam. With this, we couldn't there was only one center back seam and no side seams. So I ended up using this as a panel to wrap around. And I was actually, a friend of mine kind of just gave me that tip, because if I had to join this on the side seams.
Yeah, you have all of this to contend with.
And I had to take out so many stones at it, whether I was picking out stones like crazy. In addition to that, it was kind of pegged. So if I had to join it on the side seams, the straight design would get distorted because of the peg, so it was pretty interesting. So I had to think my way through this and figured it out, but it turned out beautiful. The weight of the stones, even though it was fitted, made the skirt collapse. So it looked like they both were perfectly aligned together. So that's the details of our project. We just wanted to share with everybody.
Want to share that
now, did you have any kind of fit issues or anything, since we're talking about fit this month? Any kind of fit tips based on what you did that you can share with everybody else?
Yes.
What are those tips?
Now, what's so much tip is what happens a lot of times. A lot of times people plan a wedding that far down the road, and then they change sizes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he changed sizes.
The groom?
The groom changed sizes. He lost 30 pounds.
Wow.
In about 5 weeks.
Whoa.
About 5 weeks. He lost 30 pounds.
That's significant.
So what happened was, the first fitting he came to me, all of a sudden, the clothes were falling off for him. I'm saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. So then he said, what are you, I lost 30 pounds. No, I didn't know you were going to lose 30 pounds. Sometimes they tell me up front that they're losing weight, but he didn't say that. So it's always good to ask them. I always say, are you at your fighting weight? Is this what you're going to fight at?
That's right. What are your intentions?
What are your intentions?
That's right.
But I didn't, because, don't get me wrong, he was not a big man.
And that's really, I find, well, you work with men all the time, it's kind of atypical, because usually it's the bride. I'm always either chasing behind my brides and only making their stuff a month, maybe 6 weeks out before the event, because I know most of them are usually fluctuating a little bit. That's interesting. far as a man.
I made a dress, a bridesmaid's dress for a young lady, maybe 15 years ago, and it was the same kind of scenario. Well, she was a very shapely young lady then, and she said, "I'm gonna use a few little pounds."
Oh.
And so I measured her on the tight side, and when she came, this was about 3 months prior to the wedding, when I had her first fitting, because she kept saying, so before I had put a lot of beads and stones on it, on the shell, I tried, do you know I took that shell in 4 times? And she kept saying, "I'm still in the gym." I said, "Well, wait a minute. Why didn't you wait later?
Yeah, to
before you let me take the measurements initially?"
Yeah.
See? So you have to kind of balance it off of when the physical wedding is, but see, I didn't want to wait till the last minute either. Yep. So I took it in the stages, but every time the stages came up, this child lost another 10 pounds.
And that's true. And the one funny thing about weight loss, we all can agree, you can never tell where it's going to come off.
No, you don't know.
So usually and it's kind of like you, I'll either make like a muslin or something ahead of time. If they are insistent they have to be in something beforehand to kind of put their mind in. And then we'll try on that same muslin a month later or something and see how they fit with that. And then, but you're absolutely right. It's funny. Yeah. Anyway, you have to make the judgment on that, and you have to do what's best, especially if you're working with expensive fabric. Because some things can be taken in strategically and and then some things, if you cut it, that's it. You know how it is. So
well, this was a satin, and this was over a $2,000 gown.
Oh, good Lord.
You know, but I did in stages. See, it was a satin I kept cutting down, so there was no damage done to that before I overlaid it there.
Now, do you charge for that? Like if you have to go in and do any major fitting? I'm curious about that. Now I know after it's done,
not really,
weight, you
because
you're still in the making.
I'm still in the making part of it, and to be very honest with you, that's why I check more now and ask them what's your schedule, because I'll tell you why I didn't with her. She was a very shapely young lady to start with. She ended up being skinny. She really did. To be honest with you, I think she lost too much weight.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Where you know. Yeah.
But she said, "I'm in the gym every day working out." Okay, well, stop working out. Okay? Because she really, to me, she looked like she lost too much weight. Because, you know, they get that gun-ho regiment and all of a sudden, and the weight kept falling off. I've never seen weight fall off of a person like that. Because they always come to me, "Well, I'm losing a few pounds, so well, I'm going to wait a while." You know? But guess what? Most of the time, the pounds don't come off.
Not like that. Not like that. Not with every day. And so that's some kind of fitting tips there to keep in mind. One thing I forgot to mention is I did do 3 bridesmaids dresses too. I don't think I posted the pattern. I'm going to try to find a picture and post it now. If I don't, please forgive me. But what was interesting about these bridesmaids dresses, they're made out of knits. I mean, God, I love knits. I like specialize in them. I think if I could have a PhD in one piece of fabric, it would be knits. I'm pretty good at sewing those. But it was neat. The pattern had a unique draping detail. So it draped across the chest. It kind of came down in an angular point. So the neckline was very neat, and it was pretty much a draped type dress. So it had no side seams. You really couldn't alter it. It was almost like, I call it the origami dress. It was very interesting. So I was working with 3 different body types. So I ended up making muslins for all the girls just to make sure I use a fabric slightly thinner than this. But the actual fabric we used ended up being this really pretty textured cream fabric. So anytime you pick a fabric, for me, oh my gosh, I can't say this enough. Your fabric will either make or break your design.
That's a nice print.
It is. So initially, the bride came to me with a very thin stretch kind of crepe. Very thin. It was not going to hold the folds. It wasn't going to create the drama in the look and the dress. So we nixed that, and I went on a hunt and found this. And the texture and the weight helped really accentuate the design of the dress. And it was really funny making it, because once I did the fitting, I think everything was okay. I had to just extend the lining. But it was difficult to fit because you really couldn't fit it. It had no fit line. So things like that, you have to be strategic and kind of, you know. But fortunately, everything worked out great. The girls looked great. But that was very interesting to me.
That's good. But
Yeah.
That's what we did for that party there.
That is. So that's a wedding.
Any other tips for me?
No, and I'll talk all day, so let me wrap this up. But I do have a tip for, since I've been sewing like crazy, and I mentioned to you I had been really sore. I had to look for something that was going to kind of help me with my posture.
Okay.
I think it's my posture that made my neck and back sore through all the sewing. Came across this, Body Right. I'm an Amazon.com person. Okay. So I did all the research, top reviews. And essentially it is a belt, or I'm sorry, I guess what do you call this? Like a harness. My husband laughed at me. He's a safety manager. I was like, jerk. He laughed. He saw this and laughed at me. Weirdness. He was like, you look like a warehouse worker, which is hilarious. But anyway, this is it. It has like a
weight in it.
Yes, so that's the trick. And it has a detachable weight. Now, I'm not getting any perks for mentioning this to you guys. I honestly just want to help you. Most chairs people buy have like the lumbar support, so it has that rounded. That might be great, but for some of you like me that have really bad posture sometimes when you're doing extended work, this is great. It does have weights, 3 pounds. So you take, I think, a pound off.
What happens to us tailors? Now listen, sewers sew, they get up, but they're slumped over as well. Sometimes it's hard to sew, sitting right back. I can see where that would help you in your lumbar area there.
Especially if you're doing a lot of hand sewing. I was doing this.
Tailors, we do a lot. See, in that fine beading you did that, so you get the pains up there.
Yeah, that's really
we
bad.
tailors do more hand sewing than you would ever imagine. So we're always slumped over. See, so
and then even with the, I find with the machines, the what are they called?
Industrial.
The industrial. Yeah, the way they're aligned, it doesn't really, they're a little bit different than your standard machine, so it's kind of harder to get comfortable with those because of the desks and the way it's built.
And what happens, see, our machines are embedded in the table, whereas most machines, if they're on a table, they sit up as well. You got the elevation. So you're not bent over as much.
That explains it.
But that's what happens.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, get one of these. If you are feeling tense and tight, recommend it. I think it'll help you.
Okay.
But that concludes today's show.
Nice being back with you guys. We'll be back. We got more in store. We talked a lot about what we were going to do, and we are working on it. Nothing.
Twisted pants leg. You want to cover that real fast?
One lady talked about a twisted pants leg.
That's right. 2
things could happen with a twisted pants leg.
Oh, so just real quick. So the scenario is one of the students of the Masterfully Fit Pants Tailored group, they got Mr. Jim's course, love the course. She was able to fit pants, cut them out, sew them, put them together. She was just praising you on your course. Anyhow, once she made them, she noticed that the pants leg was twisted. What is the deal with that?
Okay, couple of things. If you don't, especially the front, if you really don't line the grain line up. Now, we went over what the grain line was, but for you guys who are unfamiliar with that or have not been using it properly, on every pattern that you get, and even if you draft your piece, you better draft it and put a grain line in it. The grain line stabilizes the center of the pants from the edge of the selvage.
That's right, where there's lots of curves.
Now, listen to me very carefully. If you put your pattern on there and it is not straight, if it's a ½ an inch off, if it really is, if it's a ½ an inch off, it could distort the shape of the pants. Now that's one of the things that I could see. Or secondly, it could be the fabric. The third thing is, what a lot of people don't realize, when a leg twists either in or out, if you have not lined your seam notches up correctly, if they're ¼ an inch or ½ an inch off, trust me, it will twist the leg. That's why I tell you guys, when you make trousers or pants, if you start at the top, before you go all the way down to the bottom, stretch them and look and see if they're lined up. If they're shifted anyway, turn the pants around and start from the bottom and come up. Why? The presser foot pushes the material this way, the feed dog with the teeth pulls it back this way. So the top layer eventually gets longer.
Yeah, it's easy for it to shift.
And it only has to be off a little bit.
That's right.
For the pants to completely turn.
And it depends, you're absolutely right. If you think about the fabric, and some people are really haphazard about how they lay out their fabric, really important. have it lined up selvage to selvage. If it's really weird or warped, then you want to establish where the crosswise grain is.
Right.
You got to cut it, whatever. Line up everything properly, because you're right. Even if it's skewed and still selvage to selvage, you're going to create a bulk on your fabric. So you're absolutely.
So you have to be real careful.
That's right.
But the key to it is, I'm telling you guys, is the grain line.
Yes.
And matching up the knee notches, the hip notches, whatever it is, because it doesn't seem like a 1/4 of an inch could throw it off that much. But trust me, through the years, I've made a lot of money straightening out legs. When I pull the pants inside out and I see where the notches are, they're off by 1/4 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch.
And that throws everything. Yeah, that makes sense. It throws everything off. Yeah.
Now, let me tell you how to, and I'm going to give you this tip. If you ever want to straighten them out, if you bought some pants and they're off like that, okay, what you have to really do is take the seam apart, reline the notches, and restitch it.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
Everything matches now on the leg.
It'll match. And it really turns either the leg from being in to out or out to in.
And then lastly, if you're bow-legged or something like that, then that's a whole nother issue. And then you want to think about how you adjust your pattern piece, because most pants, but if you're bow-legged, you probably will notice that most pants they turn a certain way, or if your calves are extended. Anyway, that's it. We're going to talk to you all day.
Bye, guys.
Talk to you later. God bless. Tailor Dressmaker Show. We will see. Well, if we don't talk to him before Thanksgiving, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you the following week.
Thanksgiving is next week.
It is. Y'all go, if you celebrate, enjoy, stuff yourself, enjoy. And
no, don't stuff yourself.
What?
No.
I can't.
No, you can't do that.
I
gotta work. I gotta keep body beautiful together. I gain weight, I lose it. I gain weight, I lose it. So now I'm just on the even. I want to stay steady now.
Hey, you gotta put on that winter weight. What's that?
Okay.
It's 77 degrees today. Anyway, I can't talk. All right, we love you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye now.
Bye.